Hello dear students, myself Miss Vaishali Dekate. Welcome to my channel. I am teaching you subject Maths 2 in Standard 9. In this video, we will continue with our chapter number 2, Parallel Lines. We will solve the questions from Practice Set 2.2. But before that, subscribe my channel by pressing subscribe at right side. Press the bell icon also to get my recent videos of Standard 9th. First question from practice set 2.2 is in figure 2.18. This is figure 2.18. Y is equal to 108. Here y we can see this is angle y which is 108 degree of measurement. Similarly x is having the measurement of 71 degree. We have to find are the lines M and N are parallel. Justify. Okay. We will have to find whether these two lines are parallel to each other and we have to justify. Justify means we will have to write the reason. If they are parallel, then also we have to write the reason. If they are not parallel, then also we have to write the reason. That means writing the solution with reason is known as justify. Now we all can see that these two angles, angle x and y, are on the same side of transversal and they are between these two lines. That means these two angles are interior angles. Okay. They are interior because they are on the same side of transversal. They are in between these two lines. But how do we find out whether these two lines are parallel or not? If the total or sum of these two angles is 180 degree, then only these two lines will become parallel. Correct? That means what? If interior angles, these two angles are interior because they are inside these two lines, and that's why they are interior angles. So if two interior angles are supplementary means what? Their total should be 180 degree. So if the two angles are supplementary, then only the lines by which they are formed will become parallel. If two interior angles are not supplementary, the lines in between these two angles are there will not be parallel to each other. Always keep this in mind. There can be various interior angles, but it is not necessary every time the interior angle should be supplementary. So if the interior angles are supplementary, then only the lines are parallel. If the angles are not supplementary, the lines will not become parallel. So let us see how to write the solution. So in solution we can write in the figure whatever is given first we should write that in the figure. Y is equal to 108 degree and x is equal to 71 degree. This is given to us. Okay, this is given to us. Then what we can write? Angle x. I can put the sign of angle. Angle x and angle y are a pair of interior angles formed on same side of transversal L. Line L is the transversal. They are on the same side of the transversal L. So, and this is given to us. Y is equal to 108 and x is equal to 71. So, let us find out their total. Angle x plus angle y is equal to 71 degree plus 108 degree. What is 71 plus 108? It is 179 degree. 179 degree means it is not 180. It is not equal to 180 degree. Correct? This is 179 degree and 179 180 are not equal. They are not equal. So in this way first find out the total of these two angles, two interior angles. So and then as we have got their total is 179 degree which is not equal to 180 degree, what should be written in the next step? In the pair of interior angles angle x and angle y are not supplementary, because their total is not 180 degree, and that's why they are not supplementary. And when the interior angles are not supplementary, that means what? These two lines cannot be parallel to each other, and therefore we will write the answer. Therefore line M is not parallel to line N. In this way we have to write the solution, and we have justified the answer by writing all these reasons. Now next question, question number 2. In the figure 2.9, in this figure, angle A is congruent with angle B. We have given these two angles, angle A and angle B are congruent with each other. Then prove that line L is parallel to line M, where we will have to prove. Whenever to prove that this question is there, always write what is given, what is to prove, and then write the proof. Okay, so here we are going to write in solution. We write given first. What is given to us? Angle A is congruent with angle B. This is given in the question. Then prove that. What is to prove? To prove is line L is parallel to line M. This we will have to prove. Now how to prove this? Let us write the proof first. We will take any angle x, any variable x here, which will be opposite to angle A, vertically opposite. As you all can see here, the two lines, line L and line N and line L, intersecting each other in this point. So when two lines intersect each other, we get two vertically opposite angles pairs. Okay, this will be the pair of vertically opposite angles, and opposite angles are congruent with each other. So first let us take this angle x here. Let angle x is vertically opposite angle of angle A. So as they are vertically opposite angles of each other, therefore angle A will be congruent with angle X. This will be our first statement, and the reason we can write, if you want you can make two parts. One part is for statement, other part is for the reason. Otherwise you can write the reason inside the bracket also. The reason is again we will be writing same thing, vertically opposite angles. Vertically opposite angles are always congruent with each other. So this is only we will be writing vertically opposite angles. Now again what is given to us? We have given angle A is congruent with angle B. This is given to us in the question. Angle A is congruent with angle B. This is second statement which we will get. This is given in the question. In given also we have written this. Now see children, observe this 1 and 2. In 1 and 2, left hand side is same. Left hand side is common, AA. As left hand side is same, or left hand side is congruent, or left hand side is common, automatically right hand side will become congruent. Correct? So as left hand side is same, right hand side will also be same, or right hand side will also become congruent. So right hand side is X and B. Therefore X is congruent with B. Angle X is congruent with angle B. This is we have got from 1 and 2. The reason for this particular step is from 1 and 2 we have got this particular step. From 1 and 2. Now if you observe this angle X and angle B, what type of angles are these? They are the corresponding angles, because angle X having one arm on the right hand side, other arm is in the downward direction. Similarly, B is having one arm is on the right hand side, other arm is in the downward direction. That means they are having one arm in the right hand side, one arm in the downward direction. This angle is on line L, this angle is line M. such type of angles are known as corresponding angles. And when the corresponding angles are congruent, that means the lines on which they are formed are parallel to each other. On which lines they are formed? They are formed on line L and line M, and that's why these two lines are parallel to each other. So here we will be writing X is congruent with B, therefore, or but angle X and angle B form a pair of corresponding angles. And as the pair of corresponding angles are congruent, therefore line L is parallel to line M. The reason we should write for this step is corresponding angles test of parallel lines. Hence, we have got the proof. So here we should write hence proved. In this way, always write the proof properly in stepwise. Okay. Now let us go on next sum. Question 3. In the figure, if angle A is congruent with angle B, A is congruent with B, X is congruent with Y, angle X is congruent with angle Y, we will have to prove that line L is parallel to line M. Line L and line N are parallel. This we will have to prove. So we will be writing given to prove and then proof. But before that, let us observe this figure. If I hold my book in this way, horizontally, and as we all can see that this line K will become the transversal of these lines, line L, M and line N. So K is the transversal of line L and M. First watch these two lines, line L and M. Don't look at line N now. Line L and line M. If you observe these two angles, angle A and angle B, what type of angles are these? Angle A is having one arm on the left hand side, other arm in the upward direction. Similarly, angle B is having one arm is on the left hand side, other arm is on the upward direction. Angle B is on line L and angle A is on line A. These two angles are corresponding angles because they are having one arm in the left hand side, other arm in the upward direction, and that's why they are corresponding angles. They have given congruent, angle A is congruent with angle B, this is given to us. So when the corresponding angles are congruent, what does it mean? It means that line L and line M will be parallel to each other, correct? So when the pair of corresponding angle is congruent, that means these two lines are parallel to each other. Now similarly, let us observe line M and line N and their transversal line K. Now don't look at this line L. Now we will not watch this transversal K, we will watch this transversal. Okay, this is also a transversal because this is intersecting line M and N in two distinct points. We can say that this is segment XY. Okay, so this segment XY is the transversal of line M and N. We can see this angle X and angle Y are alternate angles of each other. They are in the opposite direction of each other. They are inside these two lines and they are in the opposite direction. That means they are alternate angles, alternate interior angles. So when the pair of alternate interior angles is congruent with each other, that means what? The line by which these two angles are formed will become parallel to each other. That means what? Line M and line N are also parallel to each other. Line L and line M also parallel to each other, and M and N will become also parallel to each other. So this we will be writing in our proof first, and then we will prove that L and N are parallel. So let us see how to prove it, how to write the proof. First we will be writing given. Angle A is congruent with angle B and angle x is congruent with angle y. This is given to us. These two things are given to us. We have to prove line L is parallel to line N. Line L is parallel to line N. This is to prove. So let us write the proof. Okay, we will first take these two lines, line L and line M, and their transversal line K. Line K is transversal of line L and line M. Okay, K is the transversal of L and M. So we can see that A and B are the pair of corresponding angles. I will be writing here. Therefore, A and B is the pair of corresponding angles. And what is given to us? A is congruent with B. Angle A is congruent with angle B. This is number 1 and this is given to us. That means what? When the pair of corresponding angles are congruent, that means these two lines will become parallel to each other, and therefore line L is parallel to line M. This I give small a. Okay, small a. The reason, what should be the reason? Corresponding angles test. Okay, reason always write inside the bracket, or we can make two parts, statement and reason. Now let us observe these two lines M and N, and this is the transversal. I can write the names here, capital X and capital Y. So this segment XY will become their transversal. These are the angles. Angle X and angle Y are the angles. These are shown by small x and small y, and this I have put point X and point Y to show the segment XY. So here I will be writing segment XY is a transversal of line M and line N. Okay, this XY is the transversal of line M and N. So these X and Y are the alternate angles formed due to this transversal. So I will be writing angle X and angle Y is the pair of alternate angles. And we have given that alternate angles congruent. Angle X is congruent with angle Y. This is second statement which is given to us. As alternate angles are congruent, what does it mean? It means that these two lines, line M and line N, are parallel to each other, and therefore I can write here, therefore line M is parallel to line N. This will be my B statement, and the reason is alternate angles test. Now observe this statement A and B. In statement A we have proved that line L is parallel to line M, and in statement B we have proved that line M is parallel to line N. First line is parallel to second line and second line is parallel to third line. So automatically first line will become parallel to the third line. First is parallel to second, second is parallel to third. That means first is parallel to third. Therefore, we can write line L is parallel to line N. First is parallel to third. From this we have written from A and B, these two statements. Hence we got the proof. Therefore, hence proved. In this way, always write the proof. Now let us solve this question number 4. In figure 2.21, if ray BA is parallel to ray DE, we can see two rays here, BA and DE. Ray is having arrow on one side and point on the other side. So AB is also a ray and DE is also a ray. These two rays are parallel to each other. It is given to us. Angle C is 50 degree. This angle C is 50 degree. Angle D is 100 degree. We will have to find the measure of angle ABC. We will have to find the measure of this angle ABC, this angle. And hint is given to solve the sum. Draw a line passing through point C and parallel to line AB. We will have to draw a line which passes through point C and which should be parallel to line AB or ray AB. So let us first draw it and then we will solve the sum. So I will be drawing a ray which passes through point C. It's not ray, it will be line, and it is parallel to line AB. I will be drawing full line like this, dotted line. I will be showing by dotted line. Here, as you all can see, I have drawn a line. We can give any name to this point. It will be CF. So this is line CF. Okay. So let us write here our solution. We will start. We have drawn this line CF parallel to ray BA. Line CF parallel ray BA. This is number 1, statement number 1. What should be the reason for this? This is construction. We have constructed a line. So this is the construction. Reason is construction. Now this is given to us, ray BA is parallel to ray DE. So I will be writing here ray BA is parallel to ray DE. This will be our second statement. And reason is given. Reason we write in the bracket. Either we write in the bracket or we make two columns. One column for statement, other column for reason. Now see children, line CF is parallel to ray BA and BA is parallel to DE. First is parallel to second, second is parallel to third. So automatically first will be parallel to third. So that means what? CF is parallel to DE also. This line CF is parallel to ray DE also. Therefore, line CF is parallel to ray DE. This will be third statement, and this we have got from first and second statement. So reason for this particular step is from 1 and 2. Okay. Now let us see these two parallel lines, or one parallel line and other is the ray. Let us observe this. I will be drawing on other page. So if you observe these two lines, this is ray DE, then one transversal we can see DC and CF. Okay, this is F, this is C. So this line is parallel to this line, and these two we can see here, angle D and angle C here. Okay, these two angles are alternate angles because they are inside two lines and they are in the opposite direction. That's why they are alternate angles. But here instead of writing the names of alternate angles, we will by using one letter only, we will be writing by using 3 letters. Okay, so there will not be any confusion. We can see various angles there, and that's why we will be writing name of this angle D as EDC. Okay, this will be angle EDC, and this angle will be FCD. These two angles, this C and D, we will be writing by using 3 letters, and these two angles are alternate angles, and that's why they are equal with each other. So we will be writing angle EDC and FCD. Angle EDC is equal to angle FCD. The reason for this, what will be the reason? They are alternate angles, and alternate angles are congruent. We all know alternate angles formed due to two parallel lines and its transversal are congruent with each other. That's why EDC is congruent with FCD. Now EDC is 100 degree we have given. That's why FCD will also become 100 degree, and therefore EDC is equal to FCD. They both will be equal to 100 degree. As EDC is 100, FCD is also 100. This is given, 100 degrees given to us. Now again, when you observe this FCD, we can see that one ray is passing through this vertex C. We can see that BC or CB segment is there. So this is FCD. This is FCD angle, and we can see one ray or one segment is over there, which is BC. So due to this segment BC, this angle is divided into two angles. In two angles we can see due to the segment BC. Which two angles we can see? Angle FCB and angle BCD. That means this full angle FCD is made up of angle FCB and angle BCD. That means angle FCD is total of angle FCB and angle BCD. So here we will be writing angle FCD is total of angle FCB plus angle BCD. What reason should be written for this? This can be written as angle addition theorem. This is angle addition theorem. Okay, always keep this in mind. Now FCD we have got 100, so in place of FCD I can write 100 degree. FCB is not known to us, this angle FCB is not known, but BCD is given 50 degree. FCB I write as it is, but BCD is 50 degree, so in place of BCD I can write 50 degree. Okay, now this plus 50 degree I can bring on the right, from right to left. 100 as it is I write. This plus 50 will become minus 50 is equal to angle FCB. So 100 minus 50 will be 50 is equal to angle FCB. That is angle FCB is equal to 50 degree. Okay. So FCB we have got. What we have to find out? We have to find out angle ABC. We will have to find out this angle ABC. Now let us once again observe this figure. AB is parallel to CF. Again I will be drawing here. This AB is parallel to CF. And we can see this transversal BC here. So due to this transversal BC and AB parallel to CF, these two angles, angle B and angle C, are interior angles on the same side of the transversal. What is the property of interior angles on the same side of transversal? Interior angles on the same side of transversal are supplementary. Which are these two interior angles? Angle ABC, we will be using three letters. Angle ABC and angle FCB and angle FCB. These two angles will become interior angles, and as they are interior angle on the same side of transversal, they will be supplementary. That means their total is 180 degree. So let us write this ray BA is parallel to ray CF or line CF, and BC is the transversal. So we get these two interior angles. So here we will have to write this ray BA parallel line CF and sec BC BA parallel CF and BC is transversal, and due to that we have got these two angles, angle ABC plus angle FCB is equal to 180 degree. Angle ABC plus angle FCB is equal to 180 degree. The reason should be interior angles. Interior angles formed by two parallel lines and its transversal are supplementary. So interior angles are supplementary. This I will give number 4. Now from 4 we can write FCB value. ABC we will write as it is, angle ABC plus FCB is 50 degree is equal to 180 degree. FCB 50 degree from where we have written? From this fourth. Okay. So from fourth statement we have written FCB is equal to 50 degree. So reason is from 4. Now angle ABC as it is equal to 180 degree as it is, plus 50 we will transfer from left to right, it becomes minus 50, and therefore angle ABC is equal to 180 minus 50 is 130 degree. In this way we have got the answer, we have got the measure of angle ABC. Fifth question, in figure ray AE is parallel to BD. This AE and BD, these two rays are parallel to each other. AB can be seen as the transversal. Okay. Ray AF is the bisector of angle EAB. This ray AF is bisector. Bisector means what? It bisects angle into two equal angles. That means it makes the two equal angles out of one angle. So angle EAB is bisected by AF and ray BC is bisector of angle ABD. So due to ray BC, angle ABD is divided into two equal angles. So we will see those two equal angles. We have to prove that line AF is parallel to line BC. This AF, this bisector AF is parallel to bisector BC. This we will have to prove. So let us first write down given to prove, as proof is there. So we will have to write given and to prove. Okay. So I will be writing given here. What is given? Ray AE is parallel to ray BD. Ray AE parallel ray BD. Again, what is given? Ray AF is bisector of angle EAB. Ray AF is bisector of angle EAB, and ray BC is bisector of angle ABD. Now what is proof? To prove is line AF is parallel to line BC. That means ray AF is parallel to ray BC. We will have to prove. To prove line AF parallel line BC. Now let us start our proof. First we will be using the property of angle bisector. Ray AF is bisector of angle EAB. Ray AF is bisector of angle EAB. So I will be drawing this angle again. Can you watch this angle EAB properly? This is angle EA and B. Okay, this is angle EAB, and ray AF is the bisector. Bisector means what? Due to this ray, this angle is divided into two equal angles. Which two equal angles we can see? Angle EAF and angle FAB. These two equal angles we can see, EAF and FAB, and these two equal angles will be half of this angle EAB. Okay, they both will be half of this angle EAB. That means if angle EAB is 100 degree, then EAF will be 50 degree and FAB will also be 50 degree. 50 plus 50, EAB will become 100. So these two angles will be half of angle EAB that we are going to write here. Therefore, angle EAF equal to angle FAB, and they both will be half of angle EAB. This will be our first equation. Reason I will be writing angle bisector property. Okay. Now next we have given ray BC is bisector of angle ABD. So I will be writing here ray BC is bisector of angle ABD. Now we will have to observe this angle ABD. Similarly, same way I will be rubbing this out so I can explain to you. This is angle ABD. I am going to draw here angle ABD, angle ABD, and then we can see BC is a ray which is bisector of ABD, and due to this BC ray, this angle ABD is divided into two equal angles. Which two equal angles we can see? Here we can see angle DBC and angle CBA. Angle DBC is equal to angle CBA. CBA. These two small angles will be equal to half of this big angle, angle ABD. So this we are going to write here. Angle DBC is equal to angle CBA, and both these angles will be half of angle ABD. This will be our second statement. Again the reason is same, angle bisector property. Okay, now next we have given this ray AE is parallel to ray BD. Okay, AE and BD are parallel. So I will be writing here ray AE is parallel to ray BD. I will be showing you again here. So this ray AE and ray BD, these two rays are parallel to each other. Distance between them is equal, and if AB is taken as the transversal, so in this Z shape, most of the time, always, not most of the time, always in Z shape we can see these alternate angles. They are inside these two parallel lines and they are on the opposite side of the transversal. Correct? They are in the two parallel lines and they are opposite direction of the transversal. These two angles are known as alternate angle. So this is EAB and angle ABD. These two angles will be, what type of angles will be they? They will be the alternate angles, and we all know alternate angles are congruent with each other. If you hold your page like this, you will get to know it properly. This AE is parallel to this BD, and due to this transversal AB, we are getting these two alternate angles, and alternate angles are congruent with each other. So that we are going to write here. And seg AB is a transversal. Therefore, these two angles, angle EAB is equal to angle ABD. This will be third. Reason is alternate angles. If I write half in front of these two angles, half angle EAB will be equal to half angle ABD. Okay, I have written half in front of these two angles. That means what? I have multiplied by half multiplied by half. Okay, so I have multiplied by half and I have got half angle EAB is equal to half angle ABD. Now observe this 1 and 2. Here we can see right hand side is half angle EAB, half angle ABD. So right hand side is congruent, right hand side is equal. We have proved in equation number 4. Half angle EAB is equal to half angle ABD. Half angle EAB, this half angle EAB is equal to half angle ABD. Right hand side is equal. So right hand side is equal means left hand side will also be equal. Angle FAB will be equal to angle CBA. So from 1, 2 and 4, what we can write? Angle FAB is equal to angle CBA. Therefore, angle FAB is equal to angle CBA. This will be fifth one, and this is from 1, 2 and 4 we have written. Okay. Now once again observe these two angles FAB and CBA. We will be observing here. FAB and CBA. These two angles are congruent angles. Okay, FAB and CBA. But these two angles are formed due to these two lines FA and BC, or two rays FA and BC, and they are transversal AB, and they are alternate angles. So when the alternate angles are congruent, the two lines by which they are formed will become parallel to each other. So we will have to write this here. Angle FAB and angle CBA are pairs of alternate angles Okay, these are the pairs of alternate angles due to ray AF and ray BC and transversal AB, and therefore ray AF and ray BC will be parallel to each other. Always see that in Z, in the figure of Z, when two alternate angles are congruent with each other, then these two rays will be, or these two lines will be parallel to each other, and therefore ray AF is parallel to ray BD. Reason is alternate angles test. That is ray line. In place of ray we can write line also. Line AF is parallel to line BD. Hence proved. Now let us solve this last question. Transversal EF of line AB and CD intersect line at point P and Q. The EF is the transversal of these two lines, line AB and line CD, and it intersect line AB in point P and line CD in point Q. Ray PR and ray QS are parallel. This ray PR and ray QS, these two rays are parallel. This is given to us, and these two rays are bisector of angle BPQ and angle PQC respectively. We will have to prove that line AB and line CD are parallel. This line AB and line CD are parallel. So if we prove the alternate angles are congruent, then we can get these two lines parallel. Okay, any one test. If you prove the test of corresponding angles, if you prove the test of alternate angles are congruent, corresponding angles are congruent, then two lines will become parallel. Or if you prove that interior angles are supplementary, then two lines will become parallel. So let us see which test we can prove here, and we can get these two lines as parallel lines. So here I have written the question as it is. We will be writing the solution. In solution, first write down given and then proof. Okay, what is given? Given is this ray PR is bisector of angle BPQ. I will be writing here ray PR is bisector of angle BPQ. This is given, huh? The bisector of BPQ and PQC. Ray QS is bisector of angle PQC. This two is given to us. And again, what is given? Ray PR and ray QS are parallel. Ray PR is parallel to ray QS. This is also given to us. What is to prove? To prove is line AB parallel to line CD. Line AB parallel line CD. This we have to prove in the end. This should be our last statement in solution. Okay, so in proof we will always have to write proof in proof. Okay, so proof, we will start our proof from this. Ray PR is bisector of angle BPQ. Ray PR is bisector of angle BPQ. Let us see this in the diagram. I will be drawing this angle B, P and Q. This is angle Q and ray PR is the bisector here. So bisector means what? The ray divides this angle into two equal angles. Which two equal angles we can see? Angle BPR and angle RPQ. And these two angles will be half of this bigger angle. Correct? So we will be writing these two angles which are equal and they will be equal to the half of this angle. So I will be writing here. Therefore, angle BPQ is equal to angle RPQ. These two angles will be equal and they will be equal to half of this bigger angle. Half of angle BPQ. This will be our first statement and reason for this statement is angle bisector theorem or angle bisector property. We can write anything. Theorem I write. Angle bisector theorem. Now let us see the next one. Next is given ray QS is the bisector of angle PQC. So I will be writing here ray QS is bisector of angle PQC. So I will be drawing here. This angle PQC is here. We can see angle PQC. I am drawing here angle P, then Q and C here. And QS is bisector. This QS is bisector. So this, due to this QS, PQC is divided into two equal angles. Which two equal angles we can see here? CQS and SQP. Correct? CQS and SQP. These two equal angles we can see. And these two equal angles will be half of this bigger angle PQC. So we will be writing here. Therefore, angle CQS is equal to angle PQS and they will be half of this bigger angle PQC. This will be our second statement. Reason is same, angle bisector theorem. Okay. Now I will be rubbing this out. This is the rough work which I have to show you all. So you all will get better understanding for the application of the theorem. Now next we have given this ray PR and ray QS are parallel to each other. So we will be writing ray PR parallel ray QS. This is given to us. And we can take this segment PQ is their transversal, and segment PQ is transversal. So watch the diagram again. This is PR. I am drawing here. This is PR. This is QS. PR. QS. PQ as the transversal. What type of figure we are getting? Figure of Z we are getting. And in figure of Z, the angles inside are alternate angles. They are in the opposite direction, and they can be written as alternate angles because they are inside these two parallel segments or inside these two parallel rays, and they are in the opposite direction, opposite side of the transversal, and that's why they are alternate angles. So alternate angles are congruent. We all know when two lines are parallel to each other and two alternate angles are there, they will be always congruent. Alternate angles between two parallel lines are always congruent. So we will be writing these two alternate angles. Which two alternate angles we can write here? PQS and RPQ. Correct? So I will be writing, therefore angle PQS is equal to angle RPQ. RPQ. Why they are equal? Because they are alternate angles formed due to these two parallel lines and they are transversal. So this will be third statement, and reason I will be writing alternate angles. Now observe this. Okay, this is going this way. I hope you all will be able to see it properly now. Okay, here I have written the reason for first statement. First we have to write ray PR is bisector of angle BPQ. Therefore we get two equal angles, angle BPQ. Sorry, which two angles we are get? Angle BPR, angle BPR and angle RPQ, and they will be half of angle BPQ. Similarly, ray QS is bisector of angle PQC, and therefore CQS and PQS, these two equal angles, will be half of angle PQC. And the reason for both these statements are angle bisector theorem. Now let us see the next one. What we have written? Ray PR is parallel to ray QS and segment PQ is the transversal. So we have got these two angles, angle PQS and angle RPQ. Now let us observe this first, second and third statement. What we have proved in third statement? PQS and RPQ. PQS and RPQ are the left hand side of equation 1 and 2. Left hand side of equation 1 and 2 are equal. We have proved in equation number 3. So as the left hand side are equal, right hand side will also become equal. So what are the right hand side? Half angle BPQ will be equal to half angle PQC. And this fourth statement we have got from 1, 2 and 3. From 1, 2 and 3. Okay. Now let us observe. We can cancel this half. It will become only BPQ is equal to PQC. Observe these two angles BPQ and PQC here. I am going to rub this out again. And we can observe these two angles. Angle B, P and Q here. Okay. And second angle will be PQC here. See on this side we can see here. So BPQ and PQC, these two angles are congruent. We have proved here. When these two angles are congruent, you can see that these two angles are alternate angles because they are on the opposite side of a transversal, and They are formed due to these two lines or two rays BP and CQ or QC. These two rays BP and QC, they are formed due to these two rays and their transversal PQ. So when two alternate angles formed due to two rays and their transversal are congruent with each other, what does it mean? It means that these two rays BP and CQ are parallel to each other. Therefore, ray BQ is parallel, ray BP is parallel to ray QC. The reason is alternate angles test. Now ray BP is the part of line AB and ray QC is the part of line CD. This means what? Line AB is parallel to line CD. Therefore, line AB is parallel to line CD. In this way we have got the proof. This only we will have to prove. Hence proved. We should write hence proved. In this way we will have to write the proof of all these answers.
Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.